And that's very dangerous to spread around. Hello tubies, and how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous. You're gonna hear the outside world. So I want to talk to you today about one particular subject, which is when magic can't help you. You're like, again? Why can't magic help me this time? During a pandemic. You're like, wait, what? Magic can definitely help me during these troubling times. The world right now is in flux. The world right now is going through a lot of drama. Okay? And it's going through a lot of change and a lot of shifts in the energy, with the people, just in general. There's a lot of energy. I'm picking at my marigolds, okay? My marigolds. Anyways. Magic probably isn't going to come from a place where you put a lot of time and thought and preparation into it right now. A lot of magic is probably going to be reactionary or, reactionary. And what I mean by that is that someone on the internet might say something that offends or triggers you, and instead of being a normal human being, you might rush off to your altar and start cursing and hexing them. And I just have to reiterate for the umpteenth time that the internet is not worth your magical power and potency. It's not worth it, so just don't do it. Okay, so if someone on the internet during these times is saying something that you just don't agree with or you don't feel is right or whatever, just don't engage, don't react. Either as a human, with the tweeting and the rage and the anger, or the witchy side of yourself with the casting and the magics and the blah blah blahs, right? We want to make sure that we're conserving our energy and using our energy for what we need. Now, if somebody gets sick during these times, okay, I have to be very careful with what I say in order to keep this video monetized. Magic is not your first go-to. I don't want to care. No. I don't want to hear about any of these, my home remedies and these herbs I've been using. This is different. This is deadly. This is dangerous. And your herbs and your remedies and your tinctures and your oils and your candle spells aren't going to make it go away. So, a lot of witches on the internet, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook groups, are all talking about using the stuff that you're growing in your garden or the kitchen herbs that you have to treat illnesses, if you get where I'm going with this, instead of going to a doctor and getting professional medical aid for a certain pandemic that's currently going on. Now, I'm not saying that there's a lot of people doing this, but there are a few out there, and that's very dangerous to spread around. Because yes, we've made these tinctures, we've made these herbs, we've got our apple ciders, we've got our cinnamons, we've got this, we've got that, we've got everything you can think of, including our, what is that berry? There's a berry that I'm thinking of now. You know what I'm talking about. But like a berry where you make a syrup out of it. Like, Solitary knows what I'm talking about. But anyways, is it elderberry? Elderberry, there we go. So, right, and it's just like, this is not an appropriate time for you to be turning to the craft to cure those ailments. This is a time where you go to the doctor. Okay. Now, there's a lot of protests happening. And if you live in any of these cities where there's a lot of protests happening, then you know, especially if you're an empath, that that energy is radiating out throughout the city. Okay? It's angry, it's mad, it's vicious, it's peaceful and it's emotions. It's not that it's angry and vicious in the terms of like tearing things down, burning things down, so on and so forth. It's angry and vicious that, you know, in these times people are angry and pissed off. So you've got all of that energy flowing around, right? And that energy can become very draining, very toxic, and very negative very quickly. So what you want to do is, where magic can help you, is you want to cleanse yourself, cleanse your space, cleanse your apartment, cleanse your house. Turn off your social medias, turn off your Twitters and your Instagrams and your news. It is perfectly okay, regardless of race, gender identity, sexuality, or any of that stuff, to just turn it off. You're not saying that I don't care about this, you're not saying that this doesn't mean anything to me, you're just saying this is too much. The world right now is so chaotic and so broken that there is a time and a place for magic, and there isn't a time and a place for magic. And one of those times and places that there isn't for magic is during a pandemic. Stay home. Stay safe. Go to a doctor if you're sick, right? Don't try and whip out the herbs and the remedies and the so on and so forth, because you could make it worse. You could make it worse. And then in terms of the political world right now and the protests and all of that, cleanse your space. Turn off your TVs, turn off your Twitters, turn off your Instagrams, turn off everything. And just decompress. Go for a walk in nature. Go for a walk in the park, practicing social distancing. Right? Like, do something healthy. Get away from the altar. Okay? Don't be one of those witches who's constantly clinging to their altar, right? Trying to make it through, trying to cast spells that keep this at bay, or keep that at bay, or you know, whatever. Just turn it all off. And just breathe. Sometimes you have to be a human instead of being a witch. So, sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's just too much. And when you're an empath and when you're dealing with stuff like this, when you're sensitive to these types of energies, oh girl, it can just lay flat on your ass, especially with all the energy that's going on. And you know how, like, in the news they were talking, I don't know if you've seen this, but in the news they were talking about how the smoke from the Australian wildfires has circled the globe. Okay. And then the Earth is still angry and throwing sand at everybody. And dust. So, if you really want to witch during these times, find yourself a space outside if you can. And just be with nature. Call upon the spirits of nature and just be with nature. Even if it's just in your garden and you're just planting. Even if you just have a balcony garden. Even if you just have a few indoor plants. Be with them. And enjoy nature, and let nature fix itself, and fix you, and let Mother Nature be angry, because she is angry, okay? The Earth is angry. The people are angry. The people are also very sick. Everybody's very angry, and there's some witches that are talking about witching through the hard times. And yeah, there's definitely lots of things you can do, but you gotta take care of yourself. There's a lot going on. Things are opening, sickness is rising, protests are happening, people are politicizing things. Now's the time where you just want to shut that crap off and focus on yourself. Okay? I love you.